Hello, so it's time to discuss our last type of pronoun. So today we're going to look at reflexive pronouns. So again, there are many different types of pronouns, but we're really focusing just on these three. There are more types of pronouns that we could talk about. So we talked about personal pronouns, right? Words like I, me, he, she, all of those, right? Using the one hand shape. We talked about possessive, mine, hers, yours, theirs, using the open B hand shape. And so finally, we're talking about the reflexive pronouns. And so the same rules are going to apply. There's nothing really to change. The only thing that we need to change is, really what the words are going to be. So remember, we do have to apply the gender if we want to have it register as a gender term in another person. So aunt, uncle, man, woman, all of those have to be applied. You can't just point or use the different hand shapes. Um, Everything is baseline gender neutral or not even a person because we could use these signs in these reference as other people or other objects or animals or things. So the last one is reflexive pronouns. So the handshapes for reflexive pronouns is the A handshake. So A. So we're not going to sign this like an A. We're going to sign this kind of like a thumbs up. And these are words that include the ending self, right? Myself. Or if I did it toward you, yourself. Or if I did it to a person that I set up that was a male or they were there in real life, himself or herself if the same rules apply to female. We also have stuff like ourselves or themselves as well, right? Those types of endings to the words. So now we know all three of our different types of pronouns. We have our personal, I's, she, possessive, my, hers, and self, myself, yourself. So again, this one is very rare. It's not really used. For example, let's say my uncle built the house himself, or himself, either with that one or without the one. Yeah, so he built it himself. And there are two different ways to sign these, right? You just saw me do it, right? Where you can just use the A, and then you can also do with the one hand shape on your non-dominant. And so this classifier can mean a person, right? You see it very often, people using that. So you could use that as another way to do the selves, or you can drop that hand and just do a single hand. And just to be clear, this is not to be confused with like the sign for impact, which looks like that other sign where you kind of just hit it once. So again, reflexive pronouns are very rare. You don't see them all the time in ASL, but I just want you all to be aware of how they're produced, and if you see them, you understand what the person is trying to convey with those pronouns. Now, again, there's more kinds of pronouns. For example, we can talk about pronouns that technically are related to the WH questions and all those, but that's not the purpose of what we're going to really worry about in this class and everything we're doing. What you need to know is personal pronoun, possessive pronouns, and reflexive pronouns. Specifically, personal pronouns and possessive pronouns, the fact that many students get these mixed up and try to use the opposite hand shape. So you really want to make sure that you practice signing my bed or no, it's not I bed, my bed, right? Um, Not I bed, so make sure you're using the correct hand shapes to convey your meaning clearly. So now that we've gone over all of these, it would be really good in case you are worried about forgetting or getting confused, is to actually take your time and write down all of these words and draw the hand shape next to it so you know which hand shape to use and kind of easily match those together to make those connections in the brain and really reinforce everything in these three videos.